All right, today we're diving into something, well, something pretty wild. It's this huge, fascinating collection of academic papers that tries to create a single, unified theory for just about everything. We're about to step into a completely self-contained intellectual universe.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if you could have one single framework that connects some of the biggest mysteries we face, from the cosmos to our own biology? That's the level of ambition we're talking about here.
So what exactly is this thing? Well, it's not just a single idea. It's this sprawling body of work, all meticulously crafted by one researcher. And it's a blend of hard science, mythology, and something else entirely.
And this quote right here from the source material itself, it just sets the tone perfectly. Listen to that language, mythic-scientific framework. That's not your standard academic speak, right? It's like the language of a whole new discipline being built from scratch.
So the person behind this entire universe is Dr. Melvin Sewell, and the official name for his grand project, the thing we're going to be unpacking today, is Structured Multiversal Interactions, or SMI for short.
Let's dig into the core concept of SMI. I mean, we've all heard about the multiverse in movies and stuff, right? So what makes this version so different?
The keyword here is interaction. See, in a lot of theories, parallel universes are totally separate, running alongside each other but never touching. SMI says, nope. It suggests they're all part of this massive interconnected web, structured, connected, and they can actually influence each other.
Okay, to really get a grip on this, let's compare it to something you might have heard of, the simulation theory. In the simulation, our reality is basically like a passive computer program just running its course. But in SMI, universes are adaptive and participatory. It's less like being a character in a video game and more like being a single cell in a vast, living, evolving ecosystem of different realities.
All right, so if these realities are all interacting, that raises a huge question. How in the world could you ever measure or analyze them? Well, this is where the theory gets really interesting and introduces a pretty concrete tool. Believe it or not, the framework actually has a patented concept for this, called the reality level analyzer. It's pitched as this diagnostic instrument you could use to measure the basic structural properties of different dimensions.
And the analyzer works using these four main measurements. For instance, the narrative origin index asks a simple question: does a universe create its own stories? Or the reality authority index measures whether another reality has power over our own. It's a really systematic, though yet definitely unconventional way to try and map out the multiverse. So now that we have the core theory and this analyzer tool, let's look at how the SMI framework gets applied. And this is where things get truly wild, because it's used in some incredibly different fields. First up, cosmology. The theory suggests that dark matter isn't some mysterious missing stuff at all. Instead, it's basically a distortion. It's the gravitational effect of a whole other reality bleeding through into ours, and our instruments are just misreading it. And then, from the vastness of space, we jump right into the human mind. SMI also lays out a theoretical blueprint for something straight out of science fiction, building quantum gates. But not for data, for supposedly transferring consciousness between different dimensions.
And the scope just keeps on expanding. This quote here introduces how SMI is applied to oncology. And get this, it reframes cancer cells not as some chaotic disease, but as these highly strategic agents, metabolic grandmasters, that are actively rewriting the rules of their environment to win.
The theory even stretches into ecology and biology. It introduces these provocative concepts like a sovereign ocean restorer and something called the immortality ladder. It's all applying those same core principles of interaction and adaptation to things like planetary health and even evolution itself. Okay, so let's just pause for a second. We've got dark matter, consciousness transfer, cancer cells, and ecology. What on earth is the common thread that could possibly connect all of these ideas? You'd think there's no way, right? That these things are just too different. But according to the SMI framework, there absolutely is a single unifying pattern here. And that crucial connecting idea is this word, sovereignty. Now, in this context, sovereignty just means the strategic agency, the self-governing drive of any system. Think about it. A cancer cell fighting to survive is showing sovereignty. A consciousness trying to maintain its identity is showing sovereignty. Even a whole dimension holding its own structure together is showing a form of sovereignty. It's the one logic that unites everything.
And this sovereignty isn't just a static thing. No, it's constantly being tested and forged through processes the framework calls collapse and monster-driven refinement. You can think of it like a blacksmith making a sword. You heat the metal until it's almost at its breaking point. That's collapse. And then you hammer it into a much stronger, more refined shape. It's like a form of cosmic stress testing for any system.
So all of this leads to maybe the biggest, most important question of all. Why? Why create such a massive, all-encompassing system like this, and then just publish it all for free, for the entire world to see?
Well, the purpose is actually spelled out pretty clearly. The goal is to build a unified body of knowledge, a canon, and then to make sure it's available to everyone, everywhere. And, this is key, that it's built to be resilient against censorship or just being lost to time. It's about laying a foundation that's designed to last.
So you see, it's not just about the ideas themselves. The very way this work is published, spread across all these open-source archives with permanent digital addresses, is part of the whole project. It's a system built for what it calls archival resilience, specifically designed to survive potential infrastructure suppression.
Which leaves us with this final big question to chew on. In our modern age of information overload, where digital things can vanish in a blink, what does it really mean for one person to so meticulously build and archive their own complete intellectual universe? What's the ultimate goal of an undertaking like that?